Neil Breen has some serious baggage. This is Double Down on Stinker Madness.
What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at these!
Thrill me.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Hey, look at these!
No more hangers!
It stinks.
Hangers!
Get to the chopper! Stinker Madness.
Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness, the podcast about bad movies by bad movie lovers for bad movie lovers. There's something on the wing, something. I'm your host, Justin. There's Sam and Jackie here looking at me like I'm not doing a very good job of impersonating William Shatner.
No.
You guys
You could
don't.
do it in the voicings of Neil Breen.
Uh,
There's someone out on the wing. Something out on the wing?
or Shatner as Neil Breen.
Yeah.
I've got to get this work done. That'd be fun, too.
Where are you?
Yeah. Boy. Okay, so Neil Breen is back in his second appearance. His directorial debut in Double Down from 2005. This is the second Neil Breen movie that we have seen after Fateful Findings, which was one of our favorites. Absolutely glorious bad movie. Double Down is similar, but different.
Yeah. It's hard for me to say this out loud after seeing Fateful Findings that I would come to the conclusion that that is a refinement of his technique.
Yeah, it might be.
Not might be. Come on.
It's the
This
same
thing is-
storyline.
It isn't that, but it's just like you didn't get as confused.
He dials back the insanity in Fateful Findings, and that is saying something.
He saves the world with a magic rock,
Right.
and that's less insane.
Indeed.
He does have a magic rock in this one too, so there's some themes here.
And his childhood love.
Yep, of course. And that he is a supercomputer hacker and can do anything with some laptops that never get turned on.
I actually have a list of his superpowers.
Okay, well, that's one of the things that I need to address at some
Okay.
point in this film.
When you're ready for it, though, I have that.
I just don't see how we can... We're going to get to that fairly soon, because we have to define what he is, the Neil Breen character. Here's the fun thing. Did he at one point say his name?
Yes.
Okay.
He said, and it sounded like Aaron Brown.
Aaron, okay.
But it's not.
Huh.
According to the credits, it was something else.
Okay. Because he just references himself in the third person in the first person constantly. Never really has any dialogue with anybody establishing anything that his backstory. He just narrates the entire fucking thing. I used to do this. I used to do that. Now
And he repeats himself several times.
I can do this. I can do that. And that's all that you're brought forth about this character, other than what's on the screen, which is that he appears to just be a homeless man.
He's taken the Mammoth speak to a new level. It's dialogue that is so inspecific that it doesn't actually work. It doesn't function any longer. No one in the movie ever gets called by their name.
Right.
But apparently, because we saw the credit list at the end, they all had names.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he says his name is Aaron Brown, but apparently it's Aaron Brand.
Aaron Brand.
Aaron Brand.
Okay, all right.
That's his...
Wow. We should mention before we get too much further that this is Jackie's pick, based off of a listener suggestion that we got, a fan pick that was also provided to us. The film was provided to us by our good listener Jack B, who was like, "Oh, you guys got to get Double Down," so he was able to get a copy of it over to us. So thanks, Jack, and thanks, Jackie, for making this her choice.
Yeah.
There's This is a pile of movie.
It does appear to be just pieces of like. Did you ever hear of Einstein? And it may be just an urban legend, like Picasso writing his name on something and selling for $10 million. But that Einstein used to go out and get lost in his walks, and like that scene in Naked Gun, he just walk and walk and walk, and then be like, "And where the hell am I?"
Yeah.
But he would also take notes on just random science stuff, whatever he had floating around in his head. And then he would try to compile it later and was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I used to leave these Post-it notes all over.
Mhm.
I quit getting Post-it notes because I'll do it still. I need to remember this, and I write it into this like sort of odd shorthand that I come up with at the time. But then like 30 minutes later, I have no idea what it means.
Are you comparing yourself to Einstein?
No, I'm just saying that my house used to be covered in Post-it notes that said shit that made no sense.
I think you're comparing yourself to Einstein. I think.
He probably used notebooks. Like Post-it notes aren't really the same caliber.
Oh, okay. The medium of your randomness is what separates
He's
you.
probably got like a whole paragraph where I just like have these Post-it notes that like say things like "remember duck butter," and you're like, why would I write that down? That's only 3 words. They don't work together.
Yeah, it seems to be like he just wanted to say stuff on a Tuesday about X. Like,
Sure.
I don't like the government on Tuesday. And the Wednesday he's like, you know what? I don't really feel safe about our computer systems in the world. So I'll write that down.
Yeah.
And then, Thursday is I sure like rocks. And
Yeah.
then put those all together and made a movie.
Yeah, there was.
Well, you have to remember that, like, one day he was like, I love you. We'll be together forever, even in death.
Oh, I think that's just his underlying, like, thing. Like, every single thing that goes on in Neil Breen's life and in his writing mind, he may not even be aware that he's doing it, but is just like this fantasy about love and true love, and that you always, whoever falls in love with Neil Breen is going to be the one for the rest of eternity, and like the stars align, and that's not Tuesday, that's every day.
Then you take your shirts off and hug, and it's hot.
Right.
shit.
Which he doesn't really do in this film, but we will get into a sex scene
Yeah.
here. That is confusing. Sam, you try your best to find out anything about Neil Breen and the way he makes films. What did you find anything about Double Down?
There's really not much to find out. You can give it as much as you can know about this film as just from the eye test. Like, what did you notice about the way it was shot on film?
Mm-hmm.
So you're figuring he had to, even if he was, some of these shots are kind of long, so even if he's rounding up tail bits, they spent some money on this.
Right.
Where that came from, God knows.
Yeah.
Now he seems to do crowdfunding for his projects. I'm sure he doesn't usually spend much more than $100,000, but this one here had been shot completely on film, so there was some processing costs associated with it. They may have spent $50,000 on this.
And we shouldn't fail to mention, because we're not going to get into it when we recap the events, but 25% of this film is stock shots.
I feel like he knows somebody from a TV station, and they have got stock shots and sellout music, and they probably didn't pay for them.
I think they snuck these out the back door.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody missed it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's like, this looks like NASA. Like they're building a rocket right here. And then we're going to cut to a bunch of dead fish on the shore.
Here's what happens. Some guy runs in with like a big pamphlet into the copyright office one day. I've got the case. I've got it. We're going to get this bastard, the copyright infringement son of a bitch. And then they watch Double Down. And they're like, you know what? I think we can let him have it this
Yeah.
one. I don't really care that he didn't pay for it. It will be fine.
I would also venture to guess and give it like a 95% that the majority of the narration was written after they got done shooting.
Okay. Why would you say that?
Because the scenes with dialogue are completely indescript. The only thing that seems to have been pieced together beforehand was the love story, and then just the basic idea that he was this spy, but in reality, it's just him wandering. Half the shots are him just wandering around in the dirt.
Right.
So you can just like, oh, well, we'll be able to say anything over the top. We'll get me doing this, we'll get me doing that, and then I'll decide exactly what I'm going to say later.
Okay.
And it's not an uncommon thing, especially early in filmmaking, like early in the career of an aspiring filmmaker. So. Especially one that hasn't had any training. It's very common. Like before I took classes or anything, that's how I used to try to do it. It was like, we're going to just get these shots and then we'll just piece it together. And you're like, I really should have wrote some shit down before I shot. I'm learning something right now that screenplays are a big deal.
We don't need no stinking screenplays.
Exactly. No, I shot a number
I
of
am an
things.
auteur.
I shot a number of things with fucking like just 2 pages of scribbled notes that ended up okay just because I fucking hacked it together in post-production real nice. But this one reeks of like, yeah, just get me doing this, get me doing that. Well, it'll be great. And then afterwards, it's like, we're going to need to find a shitload of stock shots, and I'm going to go into the other room. I'm going to go into the other room and make up a bunch of shit. Just make up a bunch of shit that doesn't make any sense.
That's a very fine theory.
I also think that he picked Las Vegas like at the last minute just so that he would have all of this time to fill with the Las Vegas stock shot.
I thought we established that
He
he
lives there.
lives in Las Vegas
Yeah, he's
from Fateful Findings.
longtime resident and possible architect in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Or possible mental asylum escapee. We just don't know.
I feel like he'd have to, especially with this one being shot on film, I feel like he has to have a job that affords him enough extra cash that he probably put 25 G's of his own money into this.
Right. That's our theory that he's not an escaped mental patient, but we have zero concrete evidence to say in one direction or the other.
No.
Yeah.
I also think. Oh, go ahead, Sam.
The only thing, he's got a crowdfunding video up right now for his next film, which, maybe go ahead and donate $5 to it, but you can watch the video, and about everything that is known about Neil Breen comes from that video.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't think that if you were in love with Neil Breen and you were his girlfriend, that you would ever go to Pound Town. It would probably be all like sweet, sweet lovemaking, all smooth jazz type.
And then
But
take
he
their
would
shirts off and hug?
No, he would never pound you out.
Oh, like he would never. He is incapable of rogering someone.
Yeah, other than, oh, baby, smooth jazz.
Rose petals,
Yeah,
Boys to Men music playing in the background.
yeah, that's him.
Okay, all right.
It would never be like, hey, just fuck me as hard as you can. I don't think he could do it.
Okay, all right. That's an interesting take that nobody asked for, but
Sure.
Well, I mean, we're making
I
up
have to-
stuff about Neil Breen. That's what I think.
Now I have to get that out of my mind. so-
Neil, if you're listening and you think Jackie's an asshole and you're like, oh, I pound that shit. I hit it like a freight train. Email us at talk@stinkermadness.com.
Follow
Or
us.
if you have been pounded by Neil Breen
Yes.
and you want to share.
We actually want to hear from you more.
Or like, a Pound Town would be an exaggeration.
All right, let's dive into this. So, as we mentioned, the majority of the film is Neil Breen hanging out on some rocks
Yeah.
out in the Las Vegas desert.
We were foolish and made a skeleton count when we should have made a how many times does Neil Breen wake up under his car count.
Right.
That would have been in the 30s probably.
His character, and here's where we can get into what he is and what his
Sure.
powers are. I'm going to go ahead and start with what my guess is, that he is an ex-CIA agent who is a mercenary for hire from the U.S. government now.
He's a freelancer now.
But he's also a computer hacker,
Yes.
and he controls all the information in the world.
Yeah.
He can get into any system. The satellites, comms, missile defense. He
No, do it like Neil Breen.
what?
Satellites, comms, missile defense, satellites,
Right.
banks.
Phones.
Missile defense.
Yeah, you just gotta say like,
Satellites.
yeah, you gotta throw like the same thing in at least twice.
Because he was so well trained and so awesome to begin with that he just decided to also be the most powerful man on the planet.
Yeah. Well, was the most powerful man on the planet. He's like, I should, do more with this and get implants cybernetically as well.
Yeah, he's also a fucking cyborg.
I have the actual, in his words, the way they listed. The worstmoviesevermade.com compiled his list of superhero traits in the words that he used to describe himself.
All right.
So he is a double agent, terrorist, mercenary.
Okay, double agent. Let's break that down for a second. I have to wrap my brain around. Double agent, terrorist, mercenary.
Yes.
So is he?
He's working both sides, so he's good and bad once.
Uh-huh.
Then he's a terrorist on the side of that. And then he's a mercenary on the side of that.
Oh, so it's double agent, comma, terrorist, comma, mercenary. Okay, I thought that was all one term.
And meanwhile, we know for a fact that he's also an assassin because he does some of that, even though he himself doesn't say that.
He does say that he is a secret assassin
Okay.
of white-collar criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we see he gets the blood splattered in his face, and then we see the hand in the rocks.
Right. Yeah, he'll bury a guy out in the desert if he's the CEO of Enron. I'm talking to you, Ken Starr?
No, Ken Starr was the guy that prosecuted Clinton.
Ken.
I don't remember.
Those fucking dickheads.
They're all dickheads.
Yeah.
They're all rich again, too.
Oh, good. No, one of them died. In
Oh, yeah,
prison.
that son of a bitch.
The CEO did die in prison.
Well, Aaron Brandt then also... this is his list of powers. He controls access to the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency.
The National Geospatial... What?
The National Geospatial Intelligence
The
Agency.
National Geospatial Intelligence Agency?
Yes. He controls access. And he doesn't control it or control the information. He controls access to it.
Right.
So he's beyond he being able to hack into other things. He's like, nope, you don't get into the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency.
You show up, you
I
got
have
your little
access.
passcode, you've got your name tag,
Yeah.
and you get to that little checkpoint with the gate that raises up, and you're like, is Neil gonna let me in today? I don't think he is.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have like a guy out there. It's just like it's like one of those automated bears from Disneyland. That just fucking, the nose starts beeping red and it shakes its head. You're like, nope, not today.
God damn it, when am I gonna go to work?
Yeah,
Gotta get this work done.
gotta get it done. His little setup is simple but brilliant, and and it allows him to control anything and everything.
Correct.
He makes millions of dollars working for other countries on covert assignments, but then gives the money away to children's charities.
See, so he's not a total dick.
He even supports victims of natural disasters like Katrina.
Right.
That was fresh on the docket when he made this.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He has bioelectrical medical implants to assist him in carrying out his attacks.
So he's not like he's like Neo. He isn't naturally just a good computer hacker. He gets these bio implants, and that means that his fingers control computers better?
No, I think he's like Lee Majors. He's like the $6 million man.
Uh-huh.
So he's bionic, basically.
Right, but what power does that give him that he uses?
His fingers don't get tired.
Punches dudes.
He doesn't punch a dude here.
No, but he pretends like he's going to.
Right. I don't think that those ever come into play, his cybernetic implants.
They do not. He kills white-collar criminals, as we mentioned, because the fields are filled with are filled with their bodies. There are no fields outside of Las Vegas.
Right.
By no stretch of the imagination do you call that sort of land fields.
Maybe he means he's sending them to the fields of Pelennor,
Sure.
like Valhalla or something, or
For white-collar criminals.
yeah, or like when Russell Crowe walks through the grass and finds his wife in Gladiator. That's the fields that you go to when you have been murdered by an assassin.
It was called Mar-Lago.
Oh, hey.
Oh.
Actually, I don't get it.
White-collar criminal
Goes to-
purgatory would be Mar-Lago.
Oh, okay.
I guess. It was
Yeah.
a reach. It was a reach.
No, I think that's where they want to go, though. Oh, so
They used to not want to go. That thing was going bankrupt in a fucking hot minute until the goddamn guy got elected president.
Well, now you got
Now he forces people to go there.
right.
It's the only reason it's
Pay
making
him
money.
$100,000 to get through the front door.
He eats tuna out of the can and lives in his car.
Right.
He can tap into any secret system using his computer, phones, and satellites. Hell, I invented half the systems, the secret systems.
The secret systems.
He has all this power, and yet he's so alone.
Ugh.
He's so depressed. I hope that's on there.
Yeah, well, he keeps saying, I'm so alone. Despite all of his other things going on, he's also a bioterrorist.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Seems in conflict with
everything else he's doing.
Uh-huh.
He's just constantly getting these giant bags of anthrax and rubbing them on people's arms.
Yeah, we'll get it.
In case you're wondering how he's able to operate so wonderfully without being attacked by other agencies and other armies or secret agents, it's because he's invented an invisible shield for himself.
Mm-hmm.
The shield kills anybody that walks too close to it, but he's perfectly fine inside of it.
That is correct.
Yes. He can apparently talk to any world leader whenever he wants. Just picks up his phone, opens it, and then starts talking, and then world leader is on the other end, doesn't even dial.
It's like he calls the bat phone, the red phone in the president's office.
He's got 4 of them.
Right.
They're all the free Samsung flip phones.
Yep.
He can fight wars using his electronic, satellite, and computer skills. But he's already mentioned that.
You're right. And we should mention his computer setup, at least, which is attaching 2 DirecTV satellite dishes to the back of his Mercedes out of the trunk. And then he's got 2 laptops, at least, at
4.
minimum. At minimum, there's 2. From scene to scene. At most, he has 4 at one time. A couple flip phones.
I thought usually there's 2 flip phones, but I feel like I saw a 3rd in the shot once.
Yeah, in the climax he had when he was like, this is a conference call.
Right. He's got 3 cell phones in his
No,
hands.
you just have 3 cell phones going at once. That's not a conference call.
And to work the systems, the secret systems that he wrote, half of them, he just gets a crescent wrench and jimmies around on the satellite dishes, and I guess that causes his laptops to hit the satellite uplink?
Yeah.
Okay.
He also has 2 guns that sort of float around the setup and go in and out of the front of his pants while he's slapping keys and
with constant tuna cans everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Like, this guy loves tuna so much. He's got an entire crate of it next to his satellite dishes. It's like,
do you think that's symbolic?
Well, it almost implies that it's like spinach for Popeye. Like, yeah, well, time to hack some government systems. Gonna eat some tuna fish and get brain powers. Oh, you're just thinking tuna. It's vagina.
Yep.
Because you're 3.
Or he's got mercury poisoning and leads to his insanity. He's only eating tuna.
That's the rational right there that I like.
Yeah.
God damn it. That is rational.
Because you see him, like, there's this shot of a tuna can empty and then 1 empty Miller Lite, and then he's passed out face down underneath his car. Like,
you may have just figured this entire movie out right there, Sam. This may actually be one coherent film, and nobody has gotten it until
it has
right
a
now.
Message. You have to eat other things.
If
you only eat tuna, you will eventually get mercury poisoning.
This will be you. You will be nutty.
You will be sending signals out in the desert.
Hell, it killed, what's her name?
I don't know. What's her name? I know that...
I used to go to rehab, but now I'm not.
I don't think that was the mercury poisoning.
What was her name?
No, that was Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, Amy Winehouse.
And she died of heroin overdose.
Yeah, but before then, she had mercury poisoning.
Lisa Loeb got it from the...
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Lisa Loeb.
And it took her 6 months to get back to normal. It was a real bad deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was eating sushi every day, got mercury poisoning, basically was mentally vacant. Didn't know who she was for 6 months.
Started chewing her ears and trying to grab her elbows.
I don't know about that, but bad deal.
And
bad deal.
Made a film about being a secret agent that was played by Neil Breen. It's all a big conspiracy.
She's got a different one where she's a secret agent cat. But she also eats only tuna and lives in her car.
Right. And he keeps just going on and on and on, occasionally, sporadically, about his lost love. This woman that he grew up with from when he was 7 years old, they stayed dating all the way till his middle age period.
I don't think he looks middle-aged. I'm like,
Well, that's the
oh,
thing.
you decided to marry her when you're like 60?
You think he's 60 years old?
He is now.
Yeah.
In this movie, he's like barely over 50.
He's over middle age.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we should know from the level of narcissism in these films that he's obviously like, I'm Aaron Brand, the youngest PhD ever at the CIA.
Right.
I'm 26 years old. And you're like, no. And please put your shirt back on.
He's got a really good ass, though, for a
What?
50-something-year-old.
What did you just say? Are you crazy?
It wasn't hairy, and it wasn't saggy. It was a pretty good bun set.
Waxes his ass.
I mean, it's no Sylvester Stallone butt, but for when you look at his upper torso and you're like, oh God, I hope there's no butt scene in this, and then you get to it and you're like, well, it's better than what I thought it was going to be.
Nobody has ever said that in the history of man, Jackie.
I was pleasantly
hey, Neil,
surprised.
when you took your pants off, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be. I think that he is as oddly shaped, Jackie, as Tommy Wiseau. Like, they're both, are you people?
I mean, he's not going to get on the hot cross buns list by any means. He's no Jean-Claude Van Damme buns.
Well, walnuts. Breaking walnuts with those buns.
No, this one would be lucky to crush a hot dog bun. But
Why would you?
There's
All right,
one.
squeeze them together, Neil. It's kind of flat.
It's a metaphor for buns in buns.
Buns and buns. Yeah, it's like, whoa. The message
level shit.
inside the message.
So he's in love with this woman who's not with him anymore. The government took that away from him, or they took that away from him. And he just wants to have a simple life because after all this, he says deep down, well, he tries to say deep down, he's just a simple man. He's just an everyday kind of guy who is a cyborg that lives in the desert.
And can control anything and everything whenever he wants.
Just a normal guy.
Just an average guy.
He likes potato chips and the football and murdering white collar criminals. But he just wants to be like everybody else because he is like everybody else. But he can't be because of A, mercury poisoning, and B, because he's too deep into his own.
It seems as if he's actually
whatever he's doing,
controlling the world from his car,
right?
Using trash.
So what happens if he stops? Do we all like the whole thing go? It's going down, baby.
well, Frank's never going to get into work.
At the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
that's
he's
the
not.
one.
He will never get in. Or maybe that will open up the door. I don't know. Like, what is he even doing?
He doesn't do anything good through the whole, he talks about doing good things, and then I guess they get into that anthrax deal gone wrong.
He's
maybe like a good thing, but for the most part, he's just a terrorist.
He is just a terrorist because his next action after all this dialogue is he takes whatever. I guess we're supposed to believe it's anthrax. Well, whatever his new bioweapon is that he's created out of the back of his car to Lake Mead, of all places.
Dumps it in.
That feeds all of the water into Las Vegas and L.A. And I'll just test this new bioweapon here. And these fishes, he poisons the world's water supply.
Yep.
I don't know if it was that good. I mean, it only killed like 6 fish.
Yeah, in that one small stretch of land, Jackie.
In like the first 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I think it got bad.
I think things go poorly here for man. Once that goes through the dam, there's no stopping it.
I don't think he would poison the tuna supply. It probably only affects like trash fish, you know?
The poison is in the tuna supply already, Jackie. That's what the whole movie's about. Mercury!
Don't correct me. All I've eaten is tuna fish today.
Yeah.
Right.
For the last every day. Stop looking at me, Swan.
So he's like, this won't kill. I'll just test this here. But yeah, no, it's going to kill everybody. That's how water works, buddy.
I also like in this particular shot that he keeps cutting back to somebody's fish tank.
Uh-huh.
So that we could see the fish underwater.
Yeah, like, I can see poison coming. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really brought some depth into the scene.
Then he goes on a memory trip about his lost love, of course, which is just him repeating visually what's already been exposed.
Sure.
But I do want to make reference to this one because it cuts to what I think is a pup tent that's not set up.
It's by having looked at it over and over again, it is. It's an old green pup tent meant to look like a body bag.
Oh, it's supposed to be a body bag.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in this sequence, the body bag is moving around like there's someone inside of it
Yeah.
that is alive.
Well, in this sequence, it makes you think that he's decided to get a sleeping bag for his camping finally.
Right, that's what
'Cause he's tired of waking up under the car in a tank top.
Right, and I thought that because he's tripping balls about his old wife and like thinking about her, that I think he was jerking it in there.
Why not?
But then we get some information later that makes me really question what's going on here. Because
Hallucinations brought on by mercury poisoning.
Right. But maybe he did some things. So some guy pulls up to his homeless camp by the rocks in his car. He's also driving a Mercedes, we should mention. And runs over Neil Breen's boots. And then nothing happens. Who is that guy?
That's the gray-haired guy that he's like, we found him. Maybe? I don't know. That's unclear because it doesn't, he's not until the next scene. So like the car just shows up and then leaves. And then you're at the next scene and he goes into town and there's the Luxor and he's like, I'm here. And the other guy's like, he's here, but he's not close. We may be able to get him.
So you're thinking that this shot of a car pulling up and running over Neil Breen's boots is inferring that that the gray-haired CIA guy, we'll just say he's with the CIA, we don't know who he is, goes to Neil Breen and says, hey, we need to talk. Why don't you meet me by the Luxor where we can talk in private since we're in the desert?
And we could already talk right now.
But I don't want to.
But he couldn't find him because Neil Breen had taken his boots off, and you know what that means.
I don't?
I don't either, because it's the only scene where he's not wearing the fucking boots, and he's not in it.
Right. That's boggling. We're about to get more boggling because before they get a chance to finish their conversation, Neil Breen once again flashes back to the day his fiancée was murdered. They're in a pool.
Yep. She doesn't want to show her boobs to the camera.
He is buck-ass naked.
Yeah, and he's pretty much just junk rubbing her leg.
And she has got a flesh-colored bikini thong on. I think that we're supposed to think she is also fully naked.
Yeah,
but she didn't want to do that. And then she got in the pool, and she's like, holy shit, that man is naked.
But let's think about this also a little logically. Is there any reason that they should be naked in this pool?
It is looks like a hotel's pool.
This is filmmaking turned into sexual harassment.
Right. Again, he just wanted to be naked
with a woman on screen.
Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, no, it's gross. And she doesn't want to show her boobs.
No.
Even though she's topless, which is fine.
Which, I mean, at the same time, though, like, when you're in this position making the movie, you say, fuck it, we're shooting in swimsuits.
Right, absolutely.
It's going to fucking go faster, easier. She's not going to be turned awkwardly the entire fucking time. Fuck it. It doesn't help the scene at all. Let's shoot it in swimsuits.
If you are making a movie, you would do that. But he is not making a movie. He is making his wiener go onto a lady's leg.
Yeah.
And so he can feel her boobs.
Yeah, you can see it floating around in the scene.
This is sexual harassment. It's and assault. Like, he's not making a scene right here. He is getting his dinger on somebody.
Yeah. That's not even like
somebody.
Oh, let's, because if you, Yeah. If you talk successfully, you talk the actress into relationship, you don't have this scene, right? This is no, she doesn't want to go out with me, but she will be in a movie. Guess what? You signed the paper, and now my wiener's on you, which should be illegal.
Yeah,
it should be illegal.
It really should. So he's like, "Will you marry me?" Yes, of course. Blam! She gets shot in the back by somebody.
Somebody holding one of those laser pens.
Right. I guess the government shot her?
Anyone? He's the enemy of every man.
I guess so. And then she floats away face down in the pool, gunshot wound in her back that's barely bleeding. He has gotten the flower that was in the pool. It's covered in blood. His hands are covered in blood. Like, he is messy.
He gets some on his face just to have some there.
Right.
Yeah.
She's barely bleeding. There's nothing on her. And then he floats face down in the pool next to her.
Gets mopey. And he's like, I'm with you, babe. And then he face downs, but then he puts his arm around her.
Right.
And his balls are showing.
His balls are showing.
Not just a little bit.
His
It is a lot of ball showing.
Neil, your balls are out.
He's like, that's okay. Just keep rolling the shot.
It doesn't matter that you keep rolling the shot. He is the one that has to edit it later. And he's like, "Yep, they're my balls."
Well,
I got the shot.
You set the whole thing up. And if you're the post-production guy with him, you're like, he's like, my balls are showing. Like, of course they are. I thought that this was titled, the scene was called "Here's My Balls." Because there's no way. The only reason you do this is to be like, here's my balls.
This scene's really gonna make this movie. The viewer is gonna have an emotional connection with this character. They're gonna feel sympathy for his wife's death right in front of him on the day that he proposed to her. Tragic. No, all we can see are your balls, Neil.
The one thing that will stick with you when you watch this movie forever. Like the other Neil Breen movies have their own things that will stick with you, I'm sure. But the one thing that will remain with you, because this is such a confusing mess, is that he just does this like arm around, face down, non-hug, dead body ball thing. And you're like, what the fuck is that? And why did you go to such great lengths to show people your balls?
Weirdo. He wakes up from this dream next to his car, face down in the dirt, with "Help me" written in blood on the side of it. Whose blood is that?
I also wondered that. And
because
wouldn't anybody who got close to him be killed by the force field?
yes.
Right.
So does he have a dead lady in his trunk?
No, he's got mostly cans of tuna in his trunk.
And he is not injured.
No, but we do see later, way later, he pulls this thing out of his arm.
Okay.
And then he's like, I don't need this anymore. And then he wakes up and he's got the "help me" thing written. Like he's been removing his implants maybe. And then scribbling in his own blood.
So your theory is it's his own. He just didn't shoot it very well to establish that he is cut.
It's unclear, yeah.
All right. I thought he was just killing randos. He's going to pull a job into Las Vegas. Or he pulls up into Las Vegas. And he's like, all these people enjoying themselves. Too bad they don't even know I'm going to end it all. So he's got a plot.
Sure.
To do something horrible to Las Vegas.
Even though he already poisoned their water supply.
Right. Because of... I don't know.
Well, didn't he say at the very beginning that he was going to shut Las Vegas Strip down for 2 months?
Yes.
Okay. What's that going to do?
I don't know.
And even if he's successful, what's his motivation? I mean, you know, we can debate what goes through the mind of a fucking terrorist, but usually they have a goal.
One that's completely suffering dementia from mercury poisoning.
Right.
That's the double down. Terrorist, mercury poisoning. Double down.
Okay. I don't get it.
Well, there'd be no way to predict his movements. If you went to the FBI and like they have all the profilers and like, this is what we know about this guy. He's a terrorist, and he's got mercury poison. They're like, fuck, we're never gonna catch him.
Oh boy.
You might not need to catch him. There's a real good chance we won't need to. But if we have to, gonna be real hard to predict his movements.
That's the old double down. All right.
This is the one we've been afraid of. Pull the handle. Double down.
It's like a Price is Right machine when you get a double
Exactly.
down.
And then like the one guy that always hides from work shows up. You're like, Steve, what are you doing? He's like, I thought there was cake when you pulled the lever. Nope.
Confetti shoots up in the air.
Just confirmed that you're a work hider, you son of a bitch.
How did I even get in here today? Neil Breen wouldn't let me in.
Damn. Goddamn bear.
So he meets the CIA guy by the Luxor, and this guy's like, the guy is near. He's a bioterrorist. You got to go find him. Sort of.
But he doesn't. And is he talking about him then?
I don't think so. I think that there's another bioterrorist, and he's like, go catch him. This is what you do, buddy.
Because he doesn't. I think that that's part of the double agent business is that the CIA guy doesn't know that he's playing both sides.
I think he does.
Oh, boy.
I think he does at the end. I'm not sure when that gets established.
All right, we'll get there.
Does this finally, like, 10 scenes later when they have the anthrax deal, quote unquote?
Nope. We'll get there. So he's a terrorist. He's established that he's a bioterrorist, and now this guy's like, catch the bioterrorist. So I could easily understand that anybody could be confused and be like, catch yourself. We're looking for a bioterrorist. We just don't know that it's you. But something happens later, which makes me go, that's not the case. Anyway, he wakes up under his car in the dirt again. He gets the directions because he opens up his cell phone and is like, oh, okay, I've got directions now. So he's going to prepare for his attack on Las Vegas by creating diversions.
Yes.
Which do what? Other than divert.
Did they ever materialize?
Some of them do, yeah.
Oh, these are the stock shots?
Yes.
So the fountain doing the fountain thing normally is a diversion?
I don't know.
Because that's what it is. It's like, oh, there's a guy getting in an ambulance. Like, oh, he's caused some problems there. And then there's like, here's some animals at the zoo. This is a fountain doing its own thing.
This is Africa.
Yeah, there was a shot of Africa and birds flying.
Right, but
it's not a diversion.
Aside from his poor choice in stock images, what's the diversion? What does that do? Like,
you know what? I take it back. The fountain was pretty cool. That's a good diversion. There's people all around it going, whoa, look at the fountain.
Look over here.
They didn't see what he was doing. They were paying attention to that cool fountain.
It's not just in Las Vegas that these diversions take place. They're all over the world that he's setting up diversions. For what?
Tokyo does not give a shit about Las Vegas.
Is he diverting the attention of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency away from his forthcoming attack?
I guess, even though he has the lone ability to determine who has access to the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency.
Correct. They'll never see me coming. Of course they won't see you coming. You control all the information.
You put a bear in front of the door and no one can get in.
Then he, in another one of his walking around rocks scenes, he walks up to an old man who's sitting in the rocks, who he points a gun at and then walks around some rocks rather than just walking up to the guy, who then stands up and falls down and bonks his head and is dead.
He doesn't even... You're giving the actor too much credit. He, goes part of the way down, like he's gingerly sitting, and then sort of turns his body and goes, ah. And then it cuts to Breen going, who's that guy? And then it cuts back, and he's dead. Or not.
And he gives him some pyrite in his dying breath. You're the one.
He gives him
some pyrite.
Here's a magic rock. What's with the magic rocks, Neil? This one doesn't do shit.
It does.
Oh?
It does several things.
Okay.
We'll get to that. This episode should just be called "We'll get to
We'll
that."
get to that. Well, we won't, because we'll get to the end of this movie, and then you'll be like,
Oh,
only questions.
we didn't get to anything.
They didn't answer one thing.
And Neil Breen, after this guy dies, is like, he's my spirit bald eagle. I'm his spirit bald
So
eagle.
his spirit animal is an old guy?
Who is supposed to be a bald eagle? Maybe he's like, oh, my spirit, because I'm a soul warrior that's trying to defend America, but also a murdering son of a bitch. I'll get a fish. I'll get that tuna fish and I will gobble it up, and like a bald eagle. So therefore a bald eagle is my spirit animal, but I can't have a bald eagle deliver lines on screen. So I'll get it to be represented by a balding man. He is a bald eagle, just played by an old guy.
What if he's Howard Hughes?
Oh, he finally got out. He finally came downstairs and was like, I have to
wandered
use the
into the
restroom.
desert, right?
Never comes back.
Well, that's all. There's been several stories that Howard Hughes wandered the desert and gave various people the will. I mean, he thinks it's a magic rock, but he's actually richer than shit.
It is supposed to be gold. It's fool's gold.
Even
obviously.
if it's gold, it's like raw ore. That's like an ounce and a half of gold.
Right. It's not very much of pure gold. But and then he sees his dead parents by the lake, and I think they're supposed to be angels.
No, they're really just his dead parents because he killed them when he poisoned the water supply.
Yeah, they were vacationing across the way.
He like tossed that in, and he looks up and his dad's just like whole head is in the water drinking it. And he gets up and he's like, "Oh, hey, son." He's like, "Oh, shit. Hi, Dad. Where's your mom?" "She's just swimming around drinking the water."
Oh.
That's what we all do as humans when we go swimming, is we drink as much of the water that we're swimming in as we can, because it's not gross.
The fish pee water.
Yeah, fish pee water.
Maybe they have mercury poisoning too.
Yeah. You got mercury poisoning yet? We're working on it. I've just been sucking on the side of this fish. What's that white shit? Is that the anthrax? Oh, God damn it.
Are you guys okay? Is heaven cool? They're like, we're at peace, son. Bye.
But then his mom's like, "Come with us." And then he's like, he just stands there, looks like an idiot
Right.
on screen for about 3 seconds, and then we're somewhere else.
Yeah, we're somewhere else. We're at dinner party with his friends.
Yeah.
I think this is the CIA,
It's the CIA.
guy.
It's young CIA guy.
He gets invited to dinner with his family.
And then the young CIA guy goes, "This is my daughter." He's like, "Oh, you're sweet." And she's like, "She's got brain cancer." How do you feel now, Neil Breen?
Yeah, you got that way too dramatic. Oh, yeah, we found out yesterday she's been diagnosed with brain cancer. And then Neil Breen goes, "Oh, no."
It was almost, "Oh, no."
Yeah, it was almost, oh, no. But, yeah, oh, boy. This is the line of the movie for me. Oh, no. It's not even, I can't even do it
He
as
can't
bad.
even do it. He does it so shitty, like, "All right, time for full emotional intensity. Oh, no."
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
So he's like, "Okay, little girl, come here. You got me a glass of water, so you deserve to live. By the power of magic rock, I cure your brain cancer." And they're like, "Awesome, cool." He's like, "I can't believe that worked. If only I could bring my dead wife back, because I'm so alone. I want you here with me. You're with me when I'm dreaming, but when I wake, I'm so alone. I'll bring you back."
So I had a hard, like, with this scene, the way that the editing worked, where it kept cutting back and forth between the little girl
Uh-huh.
and the dead wife, I was like, "Oh no, this is going in a terrible place." I thought he was going to use the magic rock to put his dead wife's spirit in the little girl.
Ooh, no, the little girl is the physical representation of the childhood love.
But no, the daughter of the CIA guy.
That's not the same kid.
Oh, good Lord. I couldn't tell the difference between the kids.
Probably was the same kid.
I think it was the
Yeah,
same
could
kid
be.
in a different thing.
They
Outfit.
just gave him, different outfit, different hairstyle.
Well, here's where I think the film gets a little worse than the pool scene for me, because at this point in time, we're shown that there is something inside the pup tent, a body,
Yeah. Some hair sticking out.
or sometimes it's a skeleton, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be the corpse of his dead fiance. He's just carrying it around, and at some point he was flashing back thinking of her in what seemed like the pup tent was awful busy inside.
It was rockin', don't come a knockin'.
He is a necrophiliac.
He was humping the shit out of a dead body.
Yep. All right, Jackie, do you object to that, or
I don't think so.
okay?
Because he goes to a gravesite later.
Those were his parents. Those were his parents' graves. I 100% promise you.
I thought that was her grave.
No, it's set up like it was supposed to be her, or I mean, like I went into that scene thinking that it was her, and then as he's exiting, he says, "Bye, Mom and Dad." So that was his parents' grave. He is carrying, either way, he's carrying a body around in the back of the car, and
He has had sex with it.
at some point he climbed into it and started thinking about his dead wife, and it started jumping all around. Whoever's body that is has been violated.
Okay, now I cannot agree with that. Disagree with this theory. Okay.
Oh boy. He meets some new guys in a parking lot, and some grocery lady bumps into his car.
She's one of the other. She's on the other side.
Of what?
She's a spy.
How is he, and who?
When
for,
she's like a
and-
really good one too, because she is able to plant a bug on his car
with a
like,
shopping cart.
With a shopping cart. So, wow, nonchalant. She stares at him, walks it straight into his fucking car. Says, "Hi, I'm sorry."
Oh,
Like,
that's okay.
And then there's this giant fucking white thing stuck there when she leaves. like, wow, that's some good spying there, lady.
And then there's another lady like across the parking lot with a JVC camera filming this entire transaction.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, we want you to kill a guy." And he's like, "Oh, okay, let me give you a lecture for a little bit about the world and stuff." But then the lady with the JVC camera just gets shot in the head and she's dead. And that's
Yep.
all there is to that whole sequence.
By the power of his mind.
He did that?
Someone did.
He
It's
threw a
like
rock at her head.
the end of
The magic rock.
Yeah, it's like when he shoots the sniper at the end of Fateful Findings with the power
Right.
of his mind.
Well, we established that he doesn't shoot the sniper with the power of his mind. The magic rock did.
So
It's his personal defense system, the magic rock, with a mind of its own. So maybe the pyrite bounced the signal, the video signal, off of itself and shot it back like a laser into her face.
or it could have just been his magic defense system that he established earlier.
Oh, so he can like at will expand and disband
It just kills, like, it's on its own.
Okay.
It's like, oh, that person's got a camera. Dead.
He just drove by and shot her.
And so these guys have hired him to fuck up, make it personal. Because he's like, what do you want me to do? Do all these awesome things I can do. Also, I'm going to repeat some of them 3 times in a row. They're like, no, we want you to take this down from the inside. You're going to kill their family, and then that'll make the whole system collapse.
Yeah.
So he goes to this dinner club where these rich people are getting out of their Rolls Royce, and he's like, hey, I just need to borrow this car. I'll have it back in an hour from the valet.
Well, it starts out with these two people just driving up in a Rolls Royce, and then they get out, and they just leave the doors open and walk off. There's not a valet to be seen anywhere.
Right.
Also, I should note that this lady that walks out with the cans gets regurgitated as a spy later.
She does, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he jacks their Rolls Royce,
Yeah.
Inside the Rolls Royce that he drives away with, he poisons a strawberry by injecting it with something.
His bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
It's probably his blood.
Oh, his mercury-laden blood. Have
That's
some of
not
this.
the only thing in there.
He drives to the wedding chapel, or one of the wedding
One
chapels.
of them, yeah.
And picks up some dorks.
Yep.
Some
He's
real
like, these are
nerds.
the marks here.
Yeah, these are the most powerful people I can take down.
Or their kid or something, right?
But they're clearly not people of influence or the children of people of influence. These are just some dorks.
They're just some dorks. There's a couple other dorks there.
Right?
There were
That's
older
true.
dorks.
Yeah, that's true.
But they look kind of trashy.
Right. And he's like, oh, you guys just got married? And they're like, yeah, we just met 2 days ago. And I think that he doesn't know how alcohol or drugs work
He does not.
because,
One can of tuna and Miller Lite ain't going to make you pass out face down under a car.
true, he seems to think that these people are in a black cloud of their drug-induced state for 2 days, and they've been married, and then when they come out of it, they're not even going to remember anything.
Yeah.
Because he is like, oh, yeah, well, here, have some champagne to celebrate your marriage. That's cool, guys. And they're like, glub, 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 and one of them dies.
One of them is... And the other one is paralyzed. So there was a second strawberry with other stuff.
Or
And this is where it gets
takes
weird.
effects different ways in different people.
No, because he's working it. He's killed the dude because he's like, yeah, that's the guy I'm supposed to kill. She's just paralyzed. And he's like, you don't remember? We got married. He's going to rape the hell out of her.
Uh-oh.
And then all of a sudden the phone rings. He's like, what do you mean these are the wrong people? Fuck, the marriage is off.
See,
And then he just like throws her on top of her dead boyfriend that she just met
in the desert.
in the desert and then leaves.
She is going to be picked clean by the buzzards in about 36 hours.
Yeah. But then, more confusingly, because he is the greatest secret agent ever, even though he just really the first thing he's done in the movie is right now
I'm sorry, but
And-
I got the wrong one.
got the wrong people.
Oh. Yeah, I know I keep doing that. I'm sorry. I'll get better at it. Also, why are you calling me and giving me orders? I control everything on the planet.
Yeah, you can't even get in. The bear's still in the door. God damn it.
How did we let this guy get all of control of our secret systems? He can't even follow simple orders like get the older couple.
Yeah. The guy's name is Gary. Okay.
Are you
Did
Gary?
you kill him? What do you mean? Did you ask if his name was Gary? No. Why?
Who did you
You're
kill?
pretending to be a driver. You can ask for names.
Who did you kill?
Yeah, some
I
other
don't know.
people.
I don't
I
know.
almost raped this lady, but she got in the way because I had to do some other killing. So I really killed her horribly and slowly in the desert.
Right.
But then
How do we
more-
know that he didn't go back?
Ooh, we don't.
we don't.
Mm-hmm. She is in the desert. She could be just on the other side of the rocks that he lives by.
That's true.
Buffalo Bill.
We can
Buffalo
maybe he
Bob.
gets these are like the side thing that he puts them in the green bag with his wife's bones and
Threesome.
oh yeah.
He's like, here, my wife wants to stick her finger up your butt. Hold on.
You know?
It's Pony.
And she's like, ah! I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in her femur. So I'm into some weird shit.
Mint?
Ooh, they're Andes. Yeah, but we haven't even got to the weirdest part yet. After he gets to the wrong people, he goes to find the right people, and they're already dead.
They're already dead
And he's like, yeah, they knew what was coming, so they committed suicide.
by shooting themselves in the forehead.
Perfectly assassination style, and then dying in each other's arms. Like, I'm not on CSI here, but I don't think that you've pieced this one together properly.
Yeah, I don't think you can be sitting on a rock and blow your head off and still be sitting on a rock.
Also, nobody points a handgun at their forehead. Like-
There's no guns around.
Right.
There's none. They didn't do it.
Nope, they sure didn't.
They're not the gunmen.
Then he just wipes some anthrax on some rando on the strip, like,
Right next to the Bellagio.
it's time to fuck up some shit today.
What you do. You got a rough day, you fuck everything up at work, and so you go and like, hey, rando, here's some fucking anthrax. Eat shit and die.
Right.
Because he's like, there you go, buddy. I'm like, wow, what a dick move.
He's like, oops, sorry. Didn't mean to bump into you. Don't mind all that white powder on your arm now.
Because the first thing that kid did was sniff his arm. Like, cocaine?
Mm-hmm. That's what I would think if somebody bumped into me on the strip. I'd be like, hell yeah, we're going to party tonight, boys.
I'd be wrapping my arm up and be like, all right, let's go.
Who wants to
like-
sniff my arm?
He's like, that guy's got the blow, yeah. And Bree's like, it's anthrax. And he's like, dude, that's so 2002. Fucking asshole.
So then he steals a Ferrari Testarossa with his cell phone. I can
Yeah.
hack into anything electronic with my cell phone. They don't have electronic locks, you dipshit.
And he doesn't ever, on any of these computers or phones, push the buttons. He just slams his finger into parts of it.
Right. Ugh. And then he just drives it over to pick up a guy who's wearing a fake beard.
Oh, like one that you would get from a gumball machine.
Right. It's
Not good.
not good. And then the guy sees some big tits.
He's like, hey. And he tranks him with his syringe again.
Right. And then drives his tranked body over to the CIA guys.
Yeah.
And they're like, I got him. And they're like, what? Who's this guy? And he pulls his beard off and they're like, holy shit, you got him. That's the bioterrorist.
Sure.
What the fuck?
But
I
then they
didn't
let
get
him
that.
go.
He's the only guy that loops back around to the CIA. The first time you see the CIA, they're like, go get the guy. And then
Yeah.
he right here has a guy, pulls up to him, and they're like, that's the guy. So there's nobody else he could be.
And then they have to let him go.
Right.
Because later he's in the drug or the anthrax
Which
deal.
is the next scene. He's like, so now we're going to go meet with anthrax dealers in like whatever this place is, some
Yeah.
burned out fucking junkyard looking place. And
This
he
is where old hookers go to die.
and it's a bust. They kill the drug dealers very strangely.
They have like a stand-up meet and greet before the shootout.
Silent.
Yeah.
They
Like,
just stare at each other.
they're all covert, and then it just cuts to a shot of the three of them standing all within 2 feet of each other.
Uh-huh. And Neil Breen's like, oh no, he dropped it. The anthrax, everybody run. And then the CIA guys just start laying into the drug dealers, filling them full of lead, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go, CIA. Here's your anthrax that I am using to kill people on the strip.
He's got his own anthrax. This is he's now got the monopoly on anthrax.
He's back in the desert. He climbs up some rocks, then cuts to some rifles. The film cuts to rifles, and then it cuts to him dual wielding
Yep.
his pistols
Mhm.
and getting blood on his face.
Yeah, he's killing all the people.
In the desert?
There's no one there, but there was 4 rifles, which means
I thought those were
Action.
his rifles.
no.
I thought he was gearing up for his attack
What attack?
on Las Vegas.
He's killing somebody out there.
Who?
I don't know. You don't see him.
Randos.
Okay. All right. Just random walking through the desert, guys. You know, you don't need guns. You've got
Was
a
this-
force field, you dipshit.
Before or after he runs down the hill and can't stop.
Oh, yeah. No, it's before.
Okay,
good. And then it cuts to him fucking with his satellites and laptops, preparing for the event. And he goes, I can make an EMP 200 miles in the sky. Or no, yeah. How does he put it?
I can make an EMP, an electromagnetic blast. Oh, acronyms, buddy.
An EMB.
EMB. You could have said EMB and then you'd just been wrong. But when you have an EMP and then you don't quite realize, I guess, that it's an acronym.
Nope.
Yeah.
EMP. It's EMP. It stands for electromagnetic blast. Actually, it doesn't stand. It's defined. Whatever. I'll just ruin my joke. Then he appears to have a mental breakdown because he's just thrashing around on the dirt, going, I can't do it. I love my country. I
Yeah.
love it. And then runs down the hill screaming like a lunatic.
And gets to a point where he really can't stop. Like he's picked up too much momentum and has to keep running for about 30 feet, but then just continues to
Just
go
keep
afterwards.
going, yelling and screaming. Ah!
Well, this is the point where I fell asleep. Is right after EMP. right?
Mhm.
And then as he's running down the hill, and I'm like, why isn't he? Because I woke up and I could hear him going, "Roar!" But then he wasn't stopping, and I'm like, why isn't he stopping? He can't stop apparently because he's just going to the next
He's
downhill
still-
slope.
Yeah, it seemed like what had happened to him is that he made it like right when he was getting slowed down enough. It got a little bit too steep again. And like the camera guy's like, we're gonna have to go get Neil. Somebody's gonna have to go get him. He can't stop.
He can't stop running. It doesn't seem to change his mind though. This mental breakdown, because the next scene is him just going, all right, it's time to do my big attack. And he goes out ways away, and he has a wife vision, and then he digs that thing out of his arm, and he's like, I don't need it anymore. So this is established. Whatever you said about the help me thing,
Yeah,
very late in the film that
Too
this comes
late.
into play.
yeah.
I don't know if that's what. Whatever. Only Neil Breen can answer that question. But the CIA knows he's bad now. They've put a gum bug on his shoe. He's got gum on his shoe. It's now a bug as
Yeah.
well. He's like, oh, they're on to me. I can't work with them anymore. And so, cut to the senator
Yeah.
who is with the director of the FBI, the director of the CIA, the director of Homeland Security.
Yeah.
At what I believe
Is the sky.
is the airport.
It's supposed to be McCarran, yeah, but they're in the sky.
And the senator is like, welcome to Las Vegas. So glad you could make it. You'll be safe here. And there's people clapping.
A lot of applause.
Like it's a press conference
Canned applause.
for people getting off of the airplane.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, the senator comes and greets you every time you land at Las Vegas. This is an oasis of pleasure.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because
Because
I mean,
that's what I wanted,
Yeah,
a fucking
the
senator,
senator.
not just some Hawaiian lady with flowers and no shirt, right?
does that happen?
Hawaii.
They wear bikini tops, but it's not really a shirt, no. Yeah. Go to Hawaii. I think,
get laid.
yeah.
We need to go to Hawaii.
Mahalo. So they're all together, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I was gonna blow them up. I'm not even sure what my attack is supposed to be." But he's like, "I can't do it. Call off the attack." But then it appears that it's too late because there's armed gunmen next to a train station,
This is the anthrax guy, and he shoots his right-hand man. End scene.
but then all of Las Vegas is exploding and burning down.
They have
sort
to
of.
evacuate the strip,
Right.
which means that he did accomplish his mission.
Right.
Or at least started to, because he was going to close it down for 2 months.
But then he's like, "Oh, thank God I didn't go through with it."
But he did. Because all the people say, evacuate the strip.
Right. So he doesn't have access to his own information?
Well, it was blocked when he put on his fancy denim shirt with all of his war medals.
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about the shirt.
It's
He's got a purple heart. It's a Canadian tuxedo.
Uh-huh.
It's a sleeveless. It's like, yeah. He's getting down.
Yeah.
He's turned a denim work shirt into a vest, basically, and then put war medals all over it. Like it's his dress whites, but it's his dress denims.
Right.
The sleeves are ripped off.
Suit up.
Because he's such a man that he's got to take us all to the gun show one more time, right?
Yeah. Mm.
So I don't know if Las Vegas exists anymore or not, or if like it partially got blowed up and he's like, oh, okay, that's not too bad. Oops.
It was just the McDonald's that gypped him $1.
Yeah.
And
I
they
don't
were
know.
counting back his change, and he's like, fuck those guys.
So then he reunites with his fiance and smashes his laptops up with a rock. Sort of.
Oh God, he can't even smash the laptops. Like he puts it way above his head, and he's gonna really just smash the shit out of this laptop, and then just sort of drops the rock on the laptop.
See, and this is why my whole theory about Pound Town is still relevant.
Yeah, because he even if he wanted to, he physically cannot.
Yeah.
He can't smash a laptop with a rock.
Yeah. What makes you think that that's going to be a power horse ride?
So he's done being whatever, the double agent, secret mercenary.
Is he?
Well, he smashes his laptops.
Oh, that's true, I
That's
guess.
symbolic of that. But then we have all this whole sequence with his wife and the child and his own child representative.
Yeah.
Like, bye-bye. So what happens at the end of this movie?
Well, one, he was disappointed because that little boy never put on a black tank top.
Right.
So, I mean, really, he just let himself down in life.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. So, so what happens at the end of this movie? Legitimately,
I think he dies.
Yeah,
you
he
think he
kills
dies?
himself.
Yeah, I think one of those scenes was him committing Harry Carey, and he
By
goes,
saying goodbye to his own younger
Where does-
self?
do-
That's
Does he burns out, and then what happens after he drives off? Because he does drive off.
right. There's just more cutting to him with his wife and this child.
I don't
and
know
stuff.
what happens. I can't tell you. It's too unclear.
Huh. So, does he reincarnate his wife with the magic rock?
No, I think he keeps finding newlyweds, killing one of them, and then raping the other.
Oh.
Yeah, because it does get brought up in the movie that the kid actually still has brain cancer.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
the magic rock doesn't do anything.
It doesn't
Yeah.
actually do anything.
He's fucking crazy.
That's true. Yeah. Uh-huh. All right. Well, there's your movie, guys. Let's go with he kills himself. That's the best way I could.
I
wrap
would
that
say
up.
that, other than the part where he drives away in the car.
Maybe that's him driving to the lake where his parents are at, the heaven.
Yeah. I think he's so full of mercury, I don't know if the anthrax is going to get him anymore.
Right. Right. It's like his personal shield is just the mercury poisoning.
His own madness is preventing him from being killed.
Like that's what happens to that guy that walks up and dies. Is he's so filled with mercury that it's like flowing out of his
Yeah.
pores and into the air, and anybody that gets in with 10 feet just gets instant syphilis and dies.
Yeah, he's like,
Brain
hi.
aneurysm.
Hey, you don't mind if I park here?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm so full of mercury, I use my dick for a pencil. And the guy's like, what? Oh, I'm dead.
Personal shield.
Yeah. And the dead body's like, I'm not dead all the way. It should have been lead, not mercury, but whatever.
Joke isn't relevant.
Joke doesn't work.
All right, who wants to go first?
I don't have any
I have
questions.
one question.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the recurring themes, that we've only seen the two, but there's this like forever love. Do you think he's making these to try to convince his ex-girlfriend from grade school to get back together with him?
I wonder, which ties into my question, so we'll just combine them.
Sure.
Are we any closer to cracking the Breen code? Do we learn by watching this any
Yes.
more about who he is as a person?
We now have two recurring themes.
Right.
Not going to Pound Town.
Well,
Well,
I guess
That's
and a
just his
half.
physical capabilities.
yeah. But no, this idea of like endless love from youth
Mm-hmm.
and that rocks are magic.
Mm-hmm.
That the world still has magic in it.
I like your initial theory on the girlfriend, and that's not a bad take, Jackie. that the
Yeah,
world still
there is
has
magic in the
it.
world, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that there's definitely something there about that he's putting himself into the film for sure. And I am in Starship Troopers, and I am clicking the button that says, "Would you like to know more?"
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get to the other two, and possibly three, as you say, so we can finally figure out who this man is. The other thing that we learn about him from this film is that he does not buy a new car in 8 years.
It looks like he shaves his balls.
And his butt.
Yeah, Jackie says waxes his ass.
Yeah.
So what are we going to call this, guys? Final recommendations.
Do.
Jackie
Whoa,
says.
she was hesitant.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. You have to watch it just for the swimming pool scene.
It's too weird not to watch.
Yeah, and it's weird, and he's like trying to drive himself off the road while he eats tuna fish. It's just. You just have to watch it just to have that experience.
I also think you have to watch it more if you have seen Fateful Findings. You
Sure.
pretty much got to catch them all at this point. But if you're coming in and fresh on the Neil Breen train and you're starting with Double Down, be ready.
You'll
it's a
get
mind bender.
confused, yeah.
It's a mind bender.
You should start with Fateful Findings.
Yeah, but you should also watch this to see if you can come up with a better theory of what it is than mercury poisoning.
Yeah.
I am open to fan interpretations of this film, but it has to round the bases more than mercury poisoning, because we could have had a laundry list of questions about what this film is if you hadn't come up with, he's laced full of mercury.
Yeah.
He's batshit. That's the only way the film works. So, yeah. Sam?
I think it's a do because the thing that hasn't been brought up yet, I laughed my ass off.
Yeah, it is funny.
It's still funny. He's so awkward doing his action man business in the desert. Watch me climb these rocks. You're like, oh, this is taking forever.
Neil, you're fragile. You are a fragile man. You are not action guy.
Not action
You have
guy.
got the comedy body, and now we know you've got comedy balls, too. Yeah, I liked it. On streaming do's and don'ts this week, we've got a follow-up to last week where we talked about Tremors 1 through 4. We got to Tremors 5 on Netflix, starring Michael Gross from 2013, I think it was. Tremors 5? Bloodlines.
15, 2015.
Oh,
2 years old.
and Jamie Kennedy as well.
Jamie Kennedy.
Still has jobs, Jamie Kennedy. Sam, you wanted to get to this for quite some time. You were pretty jacked up about it. What's your thoughts on Tremor 5?
I jacked myself up too much about it.
Yeah.
Even with the expectations being too high, this is the least fun Tremors movie that there is, I think.
Yeah.
At the same time, I can't say don't. I mean,
Okay.
it was still a Tremors movie. What's his name? Gummer.
Yeah.
Burt Gummer was still fun enough that it's like, yeah, it's like a 55% do, but boy, the other ones are more fun.
Yeah, okay. Jackie?
I didn't like this one.
Okay.
I'm going to say don't.
That's it? That's all you got?
I mean, Sam pretty much said it. It's not as fun as the other ones. It's not as campy. It's really not bringing anything that I'm like, oh my God. Pass.
I think that this is not a Tremors movie. That at some point a man in a tie got involved, likely, or somebody just forgot what the Tremors movies were and lost all sense of what these things were, why people showed up, why people came. This is just a straight up horror movie. That's none of them, not a single one, were horror movies. They were monster movies at most, but like the most monstrous. The 2, 3, and 4 are goofball camp movies, like Jackie said. 1 is secretly a buddy movie, a buddy picture.
Yeah.
This is just straight up horror. People running around, being scared, getting chased by monsters. There's nothing fun, nothing goofy, nothing silly, nothing clever, nothing shiny about it.
Yeah.
It's just as if we were watching a fucking sci-fi original.
Which I think it was.
Ugh. No, I give this a straight up don't.
All right.
Unless, obviously, which on my suggestion, you're not going to change your mind. But if you're a serious Tremors fan, you're like, well, I don't care what they say. I'm going to watch them all. You're going to watch them all anyways. But for everybody else, don't. This movie sucked.
Bad news then.
Yeah.
The next one is the same team in full.
Yeah, probably going to be more of that.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking forward to Tremor 6. Next up on Amazon Prime, delivered to us via Elvira herself. She's got 13 episodes of her shtick, showing a movie and making goofball comments about it here and there. Sporadic, obviously not as much as the MST3K and the Riff Tracks guys, but on Amazon Prime, it's called like 13 Nights with Elvira or something. We watched Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death, starring Shannon Tweed and Adrienne Barbeau and Bill Maher? What? From 1989. Sam, now you had seen this via...
I've seen this a long time ago via Up All Night on USA.
With Gilbert Gottfried.
It was either Gilbert Gottfried or Rhonda Spear.
Yeah.
That one of the two of them were showing it to me. It could have been Billy Bob. He did Up All Night for a while too.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm thinking it was Gilbert Godfrey gave me the avocado business.
Mhm.
Amazon like avocado hell or whatever it is. You got to see the boobs, didn't you?
Yes.
I didn't.
I got to see the boobs that are in this film, and there is very limited boobs in this film. So if you're
Okay.
thinking that this is a titty show, that this is a Jim Wynorski film, it is not.
Yeah, well, in the USA version, it's those parts are cut out.
Those part.
Oh, there's only not that many.
Mm-hmm.
I still made it all the way through,
Yeah.
so I'll give it that.
Jackie, what did you think?
I really liked it.
You did?
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
There's just people wandering around bushes mostly.
Yeah, making jokes about
Making lame jokes.
really lame jokes.
I don't know. I like the hunks at the end. I like how they ate them with avocado or clam dip, depending on which tribe you were part of. And I liked that Elvira inserts too. I think that's what made it good enough for me to keep watching it.
Okay.
I liked her. And my favorite joke in the whole thing was when she was talking about this captain at the very beginning of the movie who has an eye patch. And he's like, it was disastrous. They really got us. And she's like, do you mean that they poked you in the eye with an avocado?
Oh.
I
I thought it was funny. I really enjoyed it.
some of it was, I thought, fun. The concept of it is a tongue-in-cheek, self-aware movie. Obviously, it's making
Yeah.
fun of the genre. But some of it, I liked that there's this avocado jungle with cannibal women inside of it, just outside of the valley in
Sure.
California,
Yeah.
and everybody knows about it. And they make some decent jokes about that. But for the most part, I just thought I didn't like it. I thought it was like the same level of funny and irreverent as like Kung Fury. Like, just no, this guys, no, stop.
I
Stop
think that-
doing this.
They were actor-wise left to their own devices to like ad-lib and things like that. None of them were really capable of it.
Yeah. So I'm still gonna give it a do. But it's just right over the top. For me.
Yeah, I think it might be more fun with the Elvira business.
Yeah, I would
But-
definitely say that.
As I said, I made it all the way through, so I
Yeah.
give it that.
Right. Okay. Got just a little bit of listener feedback. We got a new comment on the website from a listener who I believe is a longtime listener, but this is their first we've ever heard from him, named C, just the initial C. I'm going to infer that C stands for Chris Christonsonman. Chris Christonsonman has sent us an email or a comment on the website. Yeah.
Cat Severs.
Oh, Cat Severs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, this is about hackers.
Oh.
Last week's episode. Good episode as always, but a lot of things bugged me about this one. Are you sure that the pH bit in the guide is referring to pH fat? It's basically an accurate description of pH freak, pH freak, spelled with pH.
pH, yeah, but it's not after fat PHAT. It's because phone. They did the pH for the phone.
Right, so
Hackers do.
He's just wanting confirmation that is actually.
You were the
in
one that said pH fat. I'm saying pH phone.
What?
Yeah, you were like fat pH, and I was like, I don't know about any of that.
I thought you said it.
No,
What did
because
the booklet say?
freak.
Oh.
And then all of the hacker pHs are like ode to phones, is what it says in the companion guidebook. This is not my own information.
Okay, all right, but it's still based off phone. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I really feel like when you're reading these comments, we should have like, feel the pressure.
Yeah, like Prodigy. Use some copyright music that we don't have the rights to. That isn't that great to begin with.
Right.
All right, fine.
He goes on. Cyberdelia is a play on psychedelia, not deals. I thought that we all heard cyberdelio, as in, what's the dealio?
Yeah, I didn't think like deals. I thought like Coolio Dealio.
Right.
I don't know.
He says it's not a flea market. There's no commerce at all, barring the quarters going into the arcade machines. But I disagree with that as well, because
That's commerce.
as they're going in, there are people outside selling computer parts in cardboard boxes.
And
Mixtapes.
mixtapes.
Yeah.
And the quarters going in machines still counts as commerce.
True. It's a more extreme version of Shredder's teen hangout in the first Ninja Turtles movie.
Huh.
Yeah, I could see where he's drawn that.
Okay. Fisher Stevens wasn't trying to get the garbage file back. He wanted to erase the downloaded copy because it was incriminating evidence, which I think we all agreed on during...
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we said that during the episode. And I have a point about this. And what's with this Johnny Mnemonic stuff? It's mnemonic. That's an E. A few other podcasts do this too, and it drives me up the wall. I don't know why. I've just always called it Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah.
Sam? Say it.
Mnemonic.
You say mnemonic?
Is it mnemonic? I don't care.
Yeah, I don't really care either.
Johnny Mnemonic. That's the way that they say it in the movie,
It's
right?
like, if you actually say it fast enough, it just sounds like mnemonic.
Johnny
Like
Mnemonic.
it's an,
Johnny Mnemonic. Johnny Mnemonic. Either way, my point is about reading this email and defending ourselves, and I'm not offending listener Christopher Christensen.
Cat Severs.
Cat Severs. The movie itself is so bad at communicating what it's trying to say that Matt Lillard very could have been saying cyberdelia, and we heard cyberdelio, all these other things that made our communication so bad that this listener is also confused by what we had said in our recapping of a confusing movie.
Sure.
Which makes the film even shittier because you can't even talk about it without confusing somebody.
Exactly.
And I just want to say Cat Stevens. Cat
Colt Severs.
Colt Severs.
That's actually the fall guy. I'm the unknown stuntman.
I didn't understand half of the shit that they were saying anyway, so I'm just okay.
Okay.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs
5
up.
stars.
Emoji. Poop emoji. That's the cute one, right, that everybody uses? The poop emoji.
Emoji, yeah.
And then they put a heart next to it.
Why? That's gross. They love poop.
Hard poop. Maybe Neil Breen.
He didn't get any scat business.
Maybe he will. There's still 2
my
films
God.
out there.
So he just like
had sex
skipped-
with a dead body, Sam.
Okay, that's true. And you know what happens after they die?
Mm-hmm.
The part they don't show you on TV.
Maybe he cleaned that up.
With what? His wiener.
Summer's Eve.
Brings back freshness every time.
So in final, he says, again, I did like the episode overall. Scattered gripes here and there. Can't ruin an hour and change of people talking about this classic of crap. But you guys are normally so much better about the little details like these that it sticks out when you're off. Regardless, can't wait for more Breen. Speaking of next week, it's my pick. We're back to me. Mine. My own. And we're going to do Radical Jack.
Oh, shit.
No.
Radical
We should
Jack.
do Radical Jack.
Starring Billy Ray Cyrus
We
and
should do
Dee Dee
Radical
Pfeiffer.
Jack on Saturday
Why?
so that we can drink Jack Daniels and watch it. Because I have to get drunk to watch Billy Ray Cyrus again, that fucking asshole.
All right. Well, we might shoot for that. That's not a bad plan. We might have a drunk off on the
we
podcast.
haven't done one since the debacle that was Near Dark, where I couldn't remember J.K. Simmons and just kept going, "Who's the fucking guy? Who's the fucking guy?"
I hope that it doesn't turn into a shit show. So come back and see if we don't ruin the podcast next week. In the meantime, enjoy your week. Oh, it's Oscar night. It's Oscar night. We should kind of mention that. We're recording on Sunday. Tomorrow, when we release, the Oscars have already been out. Everybody will already know it won. I do want to diss on Jackie one more time this episode.
All right.
Because we went and saw The Shape of Water, which is my pick for Best Picture.
Sure.
It's the what is that when you like the
Darling.
horse? No, like the lock. It's like you go to the pony track and it's like that horse. Everybody loves that horse. Like you bet on the Patriots to win the Super Bowl.
favorite.
The favorite, yeah, whatever. But it's
Well,
like
the horse track, it's the favorite. It's the darling
Yeah.
in a beauty contest.
yeah,
or-
but the Darling can be like in the Oscars, like, oh, it's so cute, but it's probably not going to win. It's a fan favorite. All the critics love it. Every article you read says Shape of Water is going to win. I'm saying Shape of Water is going to win. So it's not like I'm making a big bold prediction. But I do want to diss on Jackie because before we saw it, she didn't know what really it was totally about, and she was like, "Is this a sequel to that movie we did for the podcast?" And I'm like, "Huh? No. What movie are you talking like?" Lady in the Water, I think it was called.
Oh my god!
No!
That was a sequel.
And they did it's like M. Night Shyamalan brought the Narfs back,
Right.
and he got it right this time.
And got Guillermo del Toro to direct it instead of
Yeah.
him because he sucks
He's
at it.
Guillermo, take the Narfs, take the Narfs, and fly through the water. You let me do the talking.
See, and I think that the best picture is going to be Call Me By Your Name.
It's
Or Call Me By My Name.
It is serious because you can't even get the title right.
Oh.
It is so not going to win. But
I love that movie.
it doesn't matter if you loved it. If you're making prediction about what's going to win, it doesn't mean you love it.
I'm going to
necessarily.
make that prediction.
Anyways, so enjoy the Oscars tonight or yesterday, as it were.
Enjoy them in the time
yeah.
machine of the past.
Go see Shape of Water for sure. Also, Darkest Hour and The Post were my favorites. So,
Well, then I want to say my 3 favorites.
okay, go ahead.
Call Me By My Name.
Call Me By Your Name.
Call Me By Your Name.
Call Me By My Name.
Call Me By My Name.
Okay, Justin.
All right, fine. Call Me By My Name.
Oh my god!
God damn it. I also liked The Phantom Thread and The Darkest Hour. Those were my top 3.
There you go.
I liked Geostorm.
Yep, Geostorm wins. Get to the chopper.
Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper.